A very good afternoon, champs, and hope you are doing good and everyone is good at home and you're fine. And let's get started with video number 6 of data sciences, or we can say getting started with data sciences. Right? Previously, we learned some data wrangling, data munging techniques, and also we learned how to play along with the data frame and how to extract data, how to read Excel, how to read CSV, right? And today we'll see a few more techniques, right? And I have zoomed it for you so that, in previous videos, I found it to be a bit, the readability was not that much. So I try to increase the zoom and hopefully it'll be more readable today and you would like it, right? So let's get started. For today, I just created this file. It's not a downloadable file. I just created it myself. Right now, you can notice a few things in the file. That the first column here is stock. So, for example, you're not going to get, as I keep on telling you always, that you're not going to get data set, as in the desired format, so that it's ready for data analytics. No, right? So you're going to face many problems, and today we'll learn few techniques of facing those problems and rectifying those problems. And we have learned many, but yeah, we'll keep on learning as we progress along, with all the classes. Okay. So I made this. So this is supposed to be the header or the attribute names, company, EPS, revenue, price, and CEO. You can see Google, Walmart, Microsoft, Apple, Reliance, and Tata. So I added some companies, and I also added some revenue of the companies in here, right? And we'll be doing data analytics on this part, right? So let's do our main job: import pandas as PD. Okay. And the second thing that I'll be doing, I'll create a data frame. So I call this df is equal to pd dot read underscore csv, comma, separated values. All right. And that is going to be e column double slash, and what do you call this? Stock, stock stock, or no, my files, double slash stock stock. Is that what the name is? stock stock. All right, so let me execute it and see. Now we're still getting an error here. E column my file slash stock dot csv. All right, so it's done. We forgot to mention the extension, so now then the extension is mentioned, so I can extract and display. And now you can see that this what is happening here, stocks has been taken as we can say the column name, right? So you can say the first column name is stock, second, since it's not giving, it's unnamed 1, unnamed 2, and because it is not given here, stock is supposed to be the title, not the column names. So if you're facing this kind of problem, you can see stock is here, and this eventually automatically becomes unnamed, 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 and unnamed. But this is not supposed to be our column name, or the name of columns are supposed to be here, row number 2, right? So what I'll do in that case, if I'm having this kind of problem, so I will do this. Let me do df dot head so that I can document. And also what I found, that documenting takes a good amount of time during the class. I would rather document it at the end and keep the sketch file ready. You can always download sketch file down in the comment section, and it's also going to be available in the description. Okay, now we have printed the df, and now what I'll do in this case, if I'm having this kind of problem, I'll say import the data frame, but skip the complete row, right? So I'll say skip underscore rows. It takes multiple things, but yeah, in my case, I'm having only one. So I'm skipping row number 1 right here, which is stocks, which is supposed to be the, you can say banner name or anything like that. Okay, I'm still getting an error. Skip underscore rows is not there. It's only skip rows is equivalent to 1. Right, so now then I have skipped the rows. Now if I print df.head 1, and only you will see that now we have started our rows reading from here. We have skipped reading right? Row number 1, we have skipped it, and now we start with row number 2, and you can find company, EPS, revenue, price, and CEO. We're getting it. So this is the solution for problem number 1, and this is not the only problem, right? So we are going to face many problems in the near future. All right, so skip rows here, so I'll document it for you. If I say, let me put it for you here. So I'll say skip rows, or we can say right here, skip rows, right, is equivalent to 1 means take data from row 2 in the CSV file. So now what we are going to do and we are going to read data from row number 2 in the CSV file, right? Now I'll do this, and yeah, fine. So it gets executed like anything. So okay. The second thing, that if you don't want headers, you say, sir, I don't want them, I want to do analytics, I want to count, and I want to do anything. One thing that you already know is pd.index, right? So you can always call pd.index, or but you cannot call it here. You cannot call it here. So let me call another thing right here. Let me do this, skip rows and header none. So let me try this first, and then I'll show you the another way. Okay, let me try this. pd.read xlevel. I do not want these column names, right? So I want to skip column names. So in that case, what I am going to do is I am going to skipping the header. Let us skip header, and I say I do not want any header. True and false and none, all three have capital beginning. So I say header is equal to none, and I can print df.head. Let's say I'll print df.head2. So right, so we have skipped all the header names here, and instead of header names we are getting header serial numbers, right? And yeah, we have to supply another. So I can say skip skip rows is equivalent to 1, and I can apply both. Right, you can see now 0 is company, 1 is EPS, 2 is revenue, price is 3. And this is the reason why Pandas is very beautiful and very in demand, because it does not require good amount of energy. You don't spend too much energy converting those values, columns, headers, and every single thing that we have been doing. It does not take too much of energy, right? And let's say about you want to change it, you want to change the names, right? So in that case, what I am going to do, I will say df is equivalent to pd dot read underscore csv, and I'll copy this by creating another data frame. Okay, after copying it, what I'll do, header is none. I want header to be none. Do not take headers into consideration, but yeah, I have something for you that you got to take. I am supplying a list of things for you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right, so I'll just go to the next line. And the first one is going to be, let's say, call as TIC. Let me call this as ticker, and second is going to be EPS, right? Revenue is REV, and PRICE, price, and then we are going to have PEOPLE, people, maybe. Who are the people there? TICKE, let me keep it capital, and I'll execute it, and then I'll say df.head 2, and let me see. 1, I have skipped all the headers. I am not taking any header names. Header name is considered to be row 1 and row 2. in our case row 2, because row 1 is stock there. And now if I do this, so you can see this. Okay, I forgot to supply this, so I will say skip rows is equal to 1 and then do names. Right, so let me try it again. Yeah, you can see now it's been completely replaced. Ticker, right, because what I did, I said do not read row number 1. So if when I skip row number 1, stock is not read. We're reading from here, row number 2, and then I say skip rows 1 and header none. Do not take any headers. Even after starting with row number 2, I'm not going to take any headers, and instead of those headers, I'm going to give my own names, which is ticker, EPS, revenue, price, and people. So this is also possible with Pandas. This is what you can do. My duty is to make sure that you learn each and everything like a pro. So, right, or then maybe you say, let me copy this again. All right. And the second thing you may notice is I want to get only a number of rows 3. So I will say, okay, skip rows, and I want to get a number of rows, and rows is equal to 3. Now the data frame itself has only 3 rows. Right, maybe you're having too much of data. You'll not be at the luxury of doing small data analytics. So you'll be doing big data analytics, and there you'll have to handle the pressure, right? Handling large data and big data often crashes the browser. So you'll have to slowly go and apply all the techniques that you're learning. And these small techniques are basically the dewdrops, which basically will help you, if you want to be a C. So you'll have to take care of those drops and assemble those drops, and that is going to make you guys a C in data analytics and programming. And after we finish basics and you get familiar with every single thing, you're going to enjoy and you're going to love doing data analytics. But yeah, since then you need to be patient quite a bit, and you need to understand, that practicing and getting familiar with the code is very important right here. Okay, so that is done. Okay, let me show you one more thing right here. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let me fire this again, and let me go with df data frame, and you can see that it still has some NA values. Now what we have seen previously, we have handled NaN values, not a number values, but we had never been able to handle n.a values. And because the data has come from different softwares, data will come from maybe Tally, maybe Mark, Busy. We have many softwares. Maybe online you may try and download. Like I was doing analysis on COVID-19, which inshallah shall be our next video. And I tried to download it from here. So open source, it's on GitHub, and patient databases here, right? So once I download it, right, so it's not necessary that if I know how to handle NaN values, so I'll be at the luxury of getting NaN values always. No, not necessary. So if I'm not at the luxury of getting NaN values, I may get n.a values, I may get 0 values, I may get minus. Negative values is also something which is toxic for data analytics, right? It's poison, right? So it's going to really reduce the success rate, and it's going to reduce the success score of your data frame. So how do you handle them, right? So we'll have to understand that we have to play tricks to handle these things, right? So what am I going to do? Because I know that NA is not, because I have that function drop NA, right? And every single thing. We learned the median as well in the previous class, but yeah, that's not the only thing that we have. We have many different things. And today, what we are going to do, replace NA and replace negative number with as that of NaN, so that we can handle it. So I will do something like this. Okay, so I don't require these tickers. So let me handle this. All right, so I'm doing it. I'm skipping row number 1. That is my right to skip, because row number 1 is quite disturbed. Okay, and then what I do is I say n.a underscore values. I want all the values inside this data frame, right? and I want them not any values. Basically any value will return and then we'll set it out. I'll tell you how. I'll say any values will be the numbers, right, which are n dot a. We still have a dot here. Yeah, n dot a dot is here, so I'll have to mention it as a string, right? So any value is going to be n dot a dot, right? But it takes two parameters in here, so we cannot always rely on a single parameter. But yeah, I want n dot a dot to be replaced with something like this. Okay, let me go to next line, right? Skip rows 1, you have already understood it. N dot a has to be replaced with any n, and any n in string is not available. We type not available. Whenever we type not available and replace any column, any row, any column of any row, we replace it with not available, means not available will be returning any n. So let us see. Okay, we have an error. Why do we have an error? Okay, let me basically skip rows 1 and NA underscore values, not value, it's NA underscore values. Fine, so it is done. So I'll go and print my df and see what is okay. Now you can see that n dot a value is replaced with nan, n dot a value is replaced with nan, and we still have let's say we still have to handle negative values -1, -1.0, and for that I'll just copy this again, right? I repeat, I'll be sharing you the sketch, so while practicing, do not watch video and practice. Download the sketch and try and read from the sketch. It's going to be available down in the description and also in the first comment, right? So you can directly go to the description and say show more. So for example, I have this video right here. Okay, let me go there and maybe somewhere. Where is the data analytics video? Okay, it's lost somewhere. Right, so this data analytics video is here. You can go down here and
very good afternoon to all the guys.
Very good afternoon, but yeah, you can see the Titanic data file download, the sketch download is right here. Right, so show less, you'll have to go to show more, and you'll find the file downloads here, and you can also download it from the comment section. If in case I forgot or I forget to comment it down, you can still go to the description and download it, right? Okay, now the second duty is to get rid of and handle our negative values. So how do you handle those negative values? Those negative values are meant to be handled just like we handled the previous thing, right? And for that, I say wherever you find -1, go and replace the entire data set with not available, right? So I can just do the same right here. Let me print, right? So we are getting n dot a right here. Why are we getting it? I'm not getting it. Maybe we have to keep in place true, because we are going to transfer it. Okay, let me try this. In place is equivalent to true, so I'll keep in place true. Is not going to take in place true right here. Okay, because we are reading it. Okay, we are reading it as it is. We are not basically saving it. But we are saying df is equal to pd.read, and then we displayed pd and we are getting nan values. And then we say again df is okay, I'm supplying two different things right here. Right, because I am doing it twice, right? So that is the problem here. Not available is going to be replaced with NA, and not available, -1 is going to be replaced with not available. And let me show you. Okay, so now because the df already has this, so why do I do pd.read csv? And yeah, we have that option as well. Fine, so let me merge it afterwards, but you can certainly see that minus values have been converted to the NaN value. So this is how you do. You can either negative values are converted, and then previously you saw, right? Maybe we can take it twice. Can we take it twice? Alright, so I can say n dot a dot, who knows, no, still getting an error, keyword argument repeated, so we cannot repeat the argument, right? So I'll have to stick with it. But yeah, we'll have to find skip rows is equal to 1 and a value is equal to not available, and we are going to replace all the negative values of not available right here, right? So this is also possible. Let me find another way and tell you how to achieve it. Right, and for that you'll have to wait. Alright, I found a way out so that we can come out of the problem here. What we are facing, the problem that we are facing here is something like this. If I replace any here, right, I am replacing dot n dot a with this, and then if I try and replace, because I am doing read CSV, I'm not writing back to CSV. So there are two options. Either I can write to CSV back as soon as I am doing updations. I'm updating my CSV file and writing it back, or second is, yes, we can pass multiple parameters here, right? For example, I want -1 to be replaced with not available, and I also want n dot a dot to be replaced with not available. So in that case, if I refresh it and check the data set again, you can see now all the negative values, right, and all the n dot a values and all the negative values have been replaced with as that of NaN values, right? Yeah, we can pass parameter, but you don't need to write a not available two times, but you can write the number of, you can write what has the string or the number that you have to find, and these are the numbers we're finding, and these are the numbers we are finding and then replacing with not available. Not available eventually at the end of the day will give us an, right? So I suppose it's understood, right? So you guys are understanding like a pro right here, okay? Right. So now if you want to write you want to create a CSV out of it, right? So if you want to skip writing to CSV, so for example, if I say let's say data frame dot to CSV, what we have understood so far is read CSV. Now we are doing to CSV. Back to CSV, I can say new dot CSV or new stocks.csv. So I can write it down. Alright, so df to CSV. So we have been able to convert it dot to CSV, and you can basically say index false. You can even use if you don't want these indexes. So I will say second parameter. If I read it here, okay, so I need not to read, so I'll say second parameter, I don't want indexes, so I'll say index, right, is equal to capital FALSE false. So in that case, I'm just giving all the indexes so to false. So I'm going to still read it from the same data set, but yeah, if you want to write back, you want to convert your CSV back, and this is how you say dot to CSV, or you can basically give the address. So I can say :/ my files, and then write it down like this, right? Or maybe write it down like this: my stocks and my stocks 2 and my stocks 2, and I can go to my files and try and see. So we have this my stock and new stocks. If I open new stocks, and what you find, right, you have successfully written, and you can even skip new stocks 2 has kept indexing also. And if I open this, and you can see there's no indexing, and we have got rid of anything that is not available, and even minus and empty value is not available. It's going to be any. You can replace any also. You can fill any. As you already know, we can run this function, df dot fill any, right? You can fill any with 0, right? So any is filled with 0, you can see. And now you can see wherever you had any, it was filled with 0, right? But you are writing now back to CSV, right? And you have a clean data set now, and you can run median as you already aware of median, right? Because I've already shown you how to run median, maybe in the previous class, right? Is that true? Okay, so median is also there, and there are a few more options that we can run, right? Or you can replace the column names. For example, if I say df dot columns, so we are getting columns, company, EPS, revenue, price, CEO, and the data type is object right here, right? And what you can see, if you want to replace some columns, you can say df dot to CSV. You can say to Excel as well, so no problem. And if you want to replace some columns right here, you can say columns. I want columns only to be 2, so that is TICKERS, and EPS. So I want tickers and columns only to be there. So I'll say new stocks 3.csv. So I'll run it, so I get an error. Okay, let me see. df dot to CSV is there. Okay, I'm giving the address new stocks 3 columns. Right, so do we have tickers here? We don't have tickers, we replace it, right? Yeah, we have company and we have capital EP. Yes, I forgot. Yeah, now it's done. Now if I go to my files and open new stocks 3 file, okay, let it open. Okay, now you can see that I have been able to import 2. Maybe your company director is asking you contact number of certain people who have done certain things, or I require only the address of people who are COVID-19 affected, right? And it's not only me. My home ministry wants it from me, right? Right. So many people, or maybe the director, maybe news channels, they want, right, the contact numbers, or maybe the address of the people who are COVID-19. So you don't need to import the entire data set. In that case, you will immediately create an Excel file, give them Excel file, and take your salary on time. Do not forget to take your salary on time, right? Okay, jokes apart. But yeah, taking salary is not a joke. Okay. Okay, we have been able to do this. Import few columns only, and you can import it without headers as well. Let me show you. Okay, because we have already done it, so no need to. Okay, so let me stocks 3 delete. It's not deletable. It doesn't want to get deleted. Yeah, it will not be deleted because it's open. Alright, so now we can delete it. Try again. Yeah, stocks 3 is deleted. Now I can run it again. Okay, done. Okay, fine. The second thing is I don't want let's say I do not want something which is that it would be better if we do not export headers. Maybe header is equivalent to false. I can see that the header is false, and new stock 3 is also there. So let's say new stock 3 does not have any headers. Let it open. Yeah, no headers, and we have been able to import every single thing, right? All right, so it would be better if I give you I'll give you a cheat sheet of all the tips and tricks of this, and in the next class, inshallah, I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks of extraction, data manipulation, right? Asking for the data, asking for specific columns, running if and else queries, running more lambda expressions to extract data, right? So unless you guys become familiar of it, right? So someone is calling me. Wait a sec. What happened to them? All right then, I'm back. Okay. Let me show you some functions now, as you guys are already aware of functions in Python, right? Okay, let me go back and read data and skip rows 1 only. Okay, and use converter to replace. So we'll design converter functions right here. and we will read Excel by converter function. So let me first do this. We know that we have already done import pandas as PD, so this is already done. And I'll define a function here. So I'll say define convert, let me see what is in the data set. Convert CEO. Okay, is that what we have in the data set? Yeah, CEO. So let's call this as convert underscore C. Let's call this function as convert underscore CEO, and this is going to take which cell to convert and which cell to replace, right? So how do you end function? By just putting that mark here, right? So colon, and then I will say if whatever is, whenever you call this function convert CEO, you have to pass one argument, so that you already know, isn't it? Now that argument will be compared. So if that cell argument, right, is equivalent to n dot a dot, if it's equivalent to n dot a dot, now then you do return back to the function, right? So return, let's say about me, Fahim, right? And if that, okay, so you say return that, and that is absolutely fine, but okay, if not, then what are you going to do, right? If it is not any, then return cell. I don't need to write else here because it's still going to return the same cell. So in that way you can use converters. You can develop and design your own converters, right? So you should be having the luxury of doing anything, not the things that I teach you or I train you for. You should be having the luxury of doing anything and everything, whichever way it's possible, right? So I'm doing read CSV and I do skip rows 1. So let me just skip this skip rows 1. Let me just manually delete it first, so that, because we have now understood what the role of skip rows is. So I'll just save it. Alright, so now once I read, I will say that I have a converter. Wait a second. I have a converter, and those converters are going to be, so let me define those converters here. So I am going to have those converters on CEO, right? So this is what I'm going to target, the CEO column, because CEO has, if you go, it has null columns as well. So let me read it first for you. Okay, let me do this. Yeah, it has some null columns. If you can see, it has n dot a dot, one n dot a dot. So let us say it has two n dot a dot. So it has two n dot a dot columns, right? So in that case, while I do write here, I will say converters is equal to on the column CEO, right? And you call directly the function that you have made, convert CEO. That's it. The job is done. Now if I import, and I knew that I'm going to get an error, right? So maybe the spelling, it's not return. Okay, I don't know what English. RETURN, return, right? So let us run it again. Fine, no errors. So please display the data frame. Now you can see CEO n dot a dot is replaced with Fahim, and n dot a dot is replaced with Fahim. So it's not necessary to replace them with Fahim. You can say NAN, replace them with NAN. So you can see NAN is here, and so these are known as converters, or we can call them as converter functions. Is that understood or misunderstood? If it's misunderstood, I can show you again. If it's understood, then it's understood. What do? Right, let's use another function. Let's say about on, let's say two columns. Let's say in our case, if we have two columns, how do you do that? Right, so I will just copy this, or let me show you again for you. I will say define convert underscore cells as a function, which is going to take cell as a parameter, right? So I will say if, and now I say if cell is equivalent to let's say about EPS has -1. It has not available here. Let's say if it's equivalent to not, it's equivalent to not available, right? So if it's equivalent to not available, then you got to return right, NONE, return none, and else return RETURN, else return the cell. If it's not, then return whatever is in the cell. You're returning back the same thing, so it doesn't matter. Right, and now I'll do the same here. Okay, let me show you. I'll do the same here. What I'll do right here, I'm going to read stock.csv and I'm going to use converters on CEO, and I am going to use converters on, what was the column name? EPS. EPS. Is EPS capital? Yeah, EPS is also capital. So let me run it. I get an error. EPS, okay, comma, because I'm targeting two. CEO is targeted and EPS is targeted, and I'm calling the same function, or I can call the function that I have earlier defined for this CEO. So let me call this convert CEO here. For CEO, I'm using convert CEO, and for EPS, let's call this as EPS. And for EPS, I'm using another function known as convert, and I'm running it at the same time. Now you can see, okay, it doesn't work. So let me show you what has happened. Okay, let me define both functions here. Alright, so let me define both the functions. I don't know what is happening here. Okay, now function number one is convert CEO, right? So it is going to convert NA to NaN and return the cell. So I'm not going to do this here. And second function that we are going to have here is import. Why am I doing this? Import pandas again. So convert CEO, and then we are having convert EPS, right? Right. So convert EPS cell and convert CEO cell. If it is NaN and then if it is NA, then return. Okay, for EPS, what I do. If the cell is equivalent to not available, then return none, else return cell. I suppose this is going to work. Why did I change it here? No, I did not. Okay, so let me keep it here and change it here. Now we have two functions, convert CEO, which takes one parameter, that parameter is NA, returns NaN. Second, convert EPS, takes one parameter, if it's not available, returns none. So let's see, I'll call both the functions here. So converters for CEO is going to be convert CEO, and for EPS it's going to be convert EPS, right? And let me see, now you can see earlier we had CEO having NaN and NaN being replaced, which earlier it was, you can see NA is 2 times NA in CEO, and EPS has not available here. So let's see what happens after I do this. So still we're getting an error, invalid syntax Fahim, RETURN. How can I make the same mistake again? Right, so you can see now, right? So I've been able to achieve this. Now CEO has been replaced with NaN and NaN, and EPS also been replaced with none. Alright, or you can even say replace EPS with, instead of none, you can replace EPS with NaN as well. Alright, so it depends on what you want to achieve. Now you can see that EPS is also replaced with NaN. So these are known as converter functions in Pandas, right? So yeah, and now how do you write back, right? So you know that if I want to convert this file to Excel, so I can say data frame dot to excel, and I'm going to create a write COVID Excel, whatever it is, dot XLSX. So I'm going to convert it to Excel, and because the Excel file has a sheet name, so I will give sheet underscore name is equivalent to my new. right? So sheet name is going to be new, and I want to give the address // my files and slash, and then do this, and I get an error, right? So it's never going to leave me too easy. To underscore Excel, not to Excel, to underscore Excel. Fine, no error, thank God. And what was the name? COVID. So let's see, COV. We don't have COVID here. Do we have? Yeah, COVID is here. So we have been able to convert COVID file. Yeah, you can see now. Now, if I don't want headers, so what was to skip headers? We earlier tried to skip headers while saving the file. What did we use? Index is equal to false. So let me try this as well. I will say comma index index is equal to false. So now by giving index false, I can again run it, and again I'm going to get an error because the file is open. I may not be able to overwrite the file because it's already open. Now when you close it, you'll be able to overwrite the file. Once the file is overwritten, you'll be able to reopen the file, and it does not have anything. Now you can see now the indexes have not been saved, and every single thing. Okay, we can create another function for negative. It's your job. Try and create a converter function to replace negative values. We have 2 negative values in here, and then create an Excel file out of this. So let me take a look at the timings, because now I'm not going to give you the luxury of short lectures again and again, and I'm not going to give you lesser homework. Please complete the job. You have almost 6 videos. Please get familiar with all the 6 videos so that we can start doing much bigger things, much larger things, from small data to medium data to Excel to TSV to let's say about JSON and JavaScript, and many different things are yet to come. But your job is to complete all the previous lectures before I upload the next lecture, and next lecture will be uploaded on Saturday, inshallah. Until then, bye bye, take care, see you, and do not forget to download the sketch file.